If you were to travel directly downward through the asphalt and soil, the temperature would begin to rise almost immediately. Every kilometer you descend, the Earth grows warmer by about 25 degrees Celsius. Deep in the interior, at the planet's core, temperatures reach over 5,000 degrees, roughly the same as the surface of the Sun. This isn't just a byproduct of our planet's existence. It is a massive, untapped reservoir of thermal energy that has been radiating outward for billions of years, largely ignored by our modern power grids. This heat comes from two primary sources. The first is primordial, the leftover kinetic energy from the Earth's violet burst. When gravity pulled together dust and gas to form our world, the resultant collisions generated immense friction and heat that remains trapped today. The second source is a slow, steady taking of physics. Radioactive isotopes like uranium-238 and thorium-232 are scattered throughout the mantle. As they decay, they release tiny amounts of energy. Collectively, these processes generate about 4 to 4 terawatts of heat, more than twice the total energy consumption of all humanity. The idea of using this heat is not new. In 1904, in the small Italian town of Larderello, Prince Piero Giannoricani tested the first geothermal generator. He managed to power 5 light bulbs using steam rising from the ground. It was a modest beginning, but it proved that the Earth itself could function as a boiler. By 1913, the world's first commercial geothermal power plant was built there. For a long time, however, this technology remained a geographic luxury, limited to places where tectonic activity pushed heat close to the surface, like Iceland or California. Traditional geothermal plants rely on naturally occurring hydrothermal reservoirs. These are rare pockets where hot water and steam are trapped in porous rock. We drill a well, the pressure brings the steam to the surface, and that steam spins a turbine connected to a generator. It is a clean, simple process, but because it requires a specific combination of heat, water, and rock permeability, geothermal provides less than 1% of the world's electricity. To move beyond this, we have to stop looking for rare pockets and start creating them. This leads us to enhanced geothermal systems, or EGs. The concept is to find hot, dry rock which exists everywhere if you drill deep enough and create an artificial reservoir. Engineers inject high-pressure water into the rock to create tiny fractures, increasing its permeability. This water circulates through the hot stone, picks up the thermal energy, and returns to the surface as steam. By engineering the reservoir, we decouple geothermal energy from geography. In theory, this makes it possible to build a geothermal plant anywhere on the planet, turning the crust into a universal energy source. To truly unlock the Earth's potential, we are looking toward supercritical fluids. When water is heated to over 374 degrees Celsius under immense pressure, it enters a phase that is neither liquid nor gas. In this supercritical state, water becomes much denser than steam but flows as easily as a gas. Most importantly, it can carry up to 10 times more energy than regular steam. If we can tap into these supercritical zones, a single well could produce as much power as 10 traditional geothermal wells, significantly reducing the footprint and cost of the facility. The challenge is depth. Most current geothermal wells are only a few kilometers deep. To reach the temperatures required for supercritical water in most parts of the world, we need to go 10 kilometers or deeper. At these depths, the pressure is crushing and the heat destroys conventional steel drill bits. New projects are experimenting with hybrid technologies, such as using millimeter wave beams, essentially high-powered microwaves, to vaporize and melt the rock rather than grinding through it. This would allow us to reach the basement rock that holds the most intense heat. Unlike solar and wind, which are variable and depend on the weather, geothermal is a baseload power source. It runs 24 hours a day, regardless of whether the sun is shining or the wind is blowing. This makes it a perfect partner for other renewables. It acts like a giant, planetary battery that never needs charging. By providing a steady, reliable flow of electrons to the grid, geothermal could replace the coal and gas plants that currently provide our backup power without the need for massive lithium-ion storage facilities. There are risks to consider, primarily the potential for induced seismicity. Creating fractures in the Earth's crust can trigger small tremors. However, by using advanced seismic monitoring and carefully controlling the pressure of fluid injection, engineers have found ways to mitigate these risks. Modern EGS projects use closed-loop systems, where the fluid stays within the pipes, never interacting directly with the surrounding environment. This reduces the risk of groundwater contamination and ensures that the process remains as clean as the heat it harvests. The ultimate goal is a magma-tap, a future where we can safely drill near magma chambers to access heat at its most concentrated. Projects in Iceland are already drilling into the edges of volcanic zones to study how materials behave in such extreme environments. If we can master the materials science required to survive these conditions, we could transform the way we think about infrastructure. Every city could potentially sit atop its own power source, reducing the need for long-distance transmission lines and creating a truly decentralized, self-sustaining energy grid. We are currently standing at a transition point. The technology to harness the Earth's core is moving from experimental prototypes to commercial reality. It is a shift from burning finite resources on the surface to tapping into the infinite heat of the interior. Our planet is not just a platform we live on. It is a thermal engine of incredible scale. By learning to listen to the heat beneath our feet, we may finally find the steady, quiet power we need to sustain our future for thousands of years to come.
If you'd like more videos like this, you can subscribe and come back to Brief Stories anytime.